The Angeles Chorale presents its 38th season in the Los Angeles area with the British Invasion. The Angeles Chorale presents its spectacular family Christmas production at the First United Methodist Church, Pasadena, on December 15th. Here, the chorale's Warren Tash talks with artistic director of the Angeles Chorale, Dr. John Sutton.
Once again, congratulations on your fantastic.
Thank you.
I feel uncomfortable calling you John Maestro.
Sure.
I should call you Maestro Sutton. Tell us a little bit more. We talked about the upcoming holiday concert,
Right.
but I want to make sure that people are as excited about it as those of us that are preparing it. The best way for me to kind of give them a hint is tell them about this fantastic aleatoric mashup that you're starting the show with.
Sure.
And then tell us a little bit how it's going to progress.
Well, it's going to be a great concert. I mean, I think we already all feel the energy of this coming concert, and here we are, you know, in October as we record this, and it's still a month and a half away, and we feel the energy and the vitality of this music. It starts with this. I think people are going to be captivated by it. It's one of the things that we're starting to do more and more, and that is we start the concert in the aisles, and so you might be sitting right there, and a singer and singers are right there in the aisles, so it's a very close, personal, intimate experience. And this first experience is very ethereal, mystical, mysterious, has some random handbell ringing going on, and you mentioned this aleatoric smash.
Aleatoric mashup.
Mashup.
That's what I'm calling it.
Mashup.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Well, it's a wonderful compositional technique, and that starts to go into technical terms, and that might scare people. But composers have been using this now for a couple of decades, but it's still sort of a new thing, and it's a new sound where singers have to keep the same melody lines that they've been given, but they have the opportunity to change the rhythms and to express the rhythms personally. And so you get this overlapping of sound, and it's quite interesting and beautiful in a way that captivates people, because it's not what we normally hear.
Right.
And it sort of starts soft and builds, and then it sort of gets to a big crescendo, and then it sort of diminishes and comes back, and then it just sort of floats away, and you're left with these little, you know, jewels of sound still in the air.
It's very much like, you know, there's a lot of music out there. There's like spa music or eclectic music,
Right.
that's very popular these days. That's what I hear in it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I think of modern as too modern, like Stravinsky for my ear is too much. But this is not that. Right.
No,
this is more relaxing, more
peaceful,
surreal, really.
Mysterious.
Yeah.
Captivating. It makes you curious, I think.
Yeah, so we're going to start off with that, and then tell us a little bit, hit a couple more of the highlights of that show. Okay.
Yeah, well, we go from that into the Benjamin Britten Ceremony of Carols, which is quite an interesting piece. It captures so much of the mood of Christmas and the holidays with very beautiful melodies, a bit more modern harmonies, but things that are beautiful to the ear, and some of the joy, the vitality, and the energy of Christmas. So it really captures this season in a beautiful way. And I think one of the unique things about it is the choir is accompanied by harp, and only the harp. So you get these amazing timbres of sound and layers of sound that are very transparent and yet very strong. Right. And that takes us finally into the ending of the first half with John Rutter's Gloria.
Before you get to that next half, though, I think this story has to be told. Because some of the major and the minor things that he does that are juxtaposed on top of each other remind us all that he was in a bit of a state of flux when he was writing this.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what I do have to mention, because it's so interesting.
Story.
Is that Britain had been visiting New York, and the war had intensified. We're talking World War II, and the war had intensified, and he got stuck in New York because of the war, and actually lived in New York for several years and did some conducting and teaching as well as composing. And he and his partner Peter Pears decided to sort of we got to get back home, and so they booked passage on a ship, and in the middle of World War II, and And as he went across the Atlantic and made this journey, this is when he wrote this piece. And so it's, as we hear some of the surreal, beautiful moments and tender moments that he brings to life through his compositions of this piece, you know that every day and night he was in danger of being shot down by a U-boat.
Right.
And so it's very interesting to know that that's sort of the historical basis for the context of how this piece came to life.
I just love that story, because every time we hit one of those real pensive chords, you know that he's thinking about that.
Yeah,
you know?
possibly.
And maybe that's kind of how I interpret it.
Yeah.
And then tell us more about the rudder.
The Rudder Glory totally changes pace with an amazing octet of fantastic brass players, some of our award-winning UCLA brass players, and choir organ, the great Christoph Bull, Dr. Bull, who's an amazing organist, and percussion. And so this captures the majesty, the glory, as well as the second movement, particularly some of the intimate moments of just this whole holiday season and Christmas story. It's a powerful piece, a thrilling piece. Dramatic with lots of mixed meter and dance-like rhythms, and you know, it's a classical piece, but you almost find yourself tapping your toe on a couple of spots, but it's a great piece that ends the first half for us.
Right, and that'll satisfy all of us who have to have classical music at Christmas time.
I think it will.
And then there's my wife's side of the audience that wants to hear some traditional stuff. So we're going to do that too, right?
They're going to hear some really wonderful stuff, all the way from some of the Alfred Burke carols, which are some of the most gorgeous carols from our country, from America. Some other English carols, great medley of the great English Christmas carols by Gustav Holst, and probably a little jewel of a piece that not many people know that Gustav Holst wrote, that will feature some of the soloists of our chorale, and it's just this priceless little choral treasure that is not to be missed.
That's right.
Yeah,
right there. It's the Lule.
Lule My Liking. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, and we've got a sort of a special thing that happened. We did earlier this year. We did a night of tribute and recognition to the great Los Angeles treasure, Morton Lordson, Dr. Lordson, who teaches at USC, one of the great composers in the world, and certainly one of the finest American composers. We did a night of tribute to him, sponsored by the Angeles Chorale, and on that there was a silent auction, and so I put some conducting lessons and an opportunity to conduct the Angeles Chorale in Handel's Messiah Hallelujah Chorus.
Fantastic.
And so that's going to happen on this concert.
Who wouldn't want to conduct?
Yeah, and so come out and watch. I want to say our guest conductor,
it's fantastic.
Conduct the chorale on that. So you'll hear the Hallelujah Chorus. You're going to hear some other great carols that people will know and enjoy. And I think one of the things I'm looking forward to the most actually is the finale piece, where the audience will sing with us on a carol that they know, and with the organ and the brass and the choir and some soloists. It'll just be the big piece.
But a nice holiday.
Yeah, the whole place will become a choir, and I'm looking forward to that.
Fantastic. One of the things that the Angeles Chorale has made it kind of a decision is that we love that Pasadena First United Methodist Church in Pasadena. Not only because of the acoustics, but because of the size, and because it gives our audience a very intimate feeling with us. We're not too far away from them, and we do some things out in the audience. Do we want to tell them a little bit more about that? I mean,
well, I think if you've not been to the United Methodist Church, it's one of the premier acoustics in Los Angeles.
It really is.
And before Walt Disney Concert Hall was there, the Los Angeles Master Chorale performed there. When Chanticleer would come to town, they would perform there. Some of the great collegiate choirs like Andre Thomas at Florida State and Anton Armstrong at St. Olaf, when they come, they want to be there to sing, because the acoustic is so beautiful. One voice can just fill that place up. And so the acoustic and the stained glass is not to be missed, this beautiful open space. But like you said, it's a very intimate space, and even though you might have 1,000 or 1,200 people there to attend a concert, every seat's a good seat, and every spot is a great place to hear the music that people are going to experience.
Well, I think it's a fantastic audience experience, and I know, because you said this to us in rehearsal, that you've chosen some of the music because you know how good it will sound in that space.
Yeah.
So we really look forward to performing there, and I think if anyone that's watching this hasn't been to a concert there, it's really a must.
Yeah, and it's really a destination to not only that place, but you're just a block from the Paseo, Colorado. You're just about 6 blocks from Old Town and all the great restaurants and coffee places. And it's a place to go and grab dinner before the concert or grab dessert afterwards. And it's really a great evening to be out.
And you've wisely started the concerts a little earlier so that if people want to, finish their hectic day and run up and see the show, we're starting at 7:30 this year instead of 8. Yeah. So we have time. The show ends a little bit earlier. You're not so tired, and you might want to go out to P.F. Chang's or go to McCormick and Schmidt or some of those great places that are walking distance.
Yeah, if they do, they might see you or me there, because we'll be out.
Definitely going out to have a celebratory drink after the show. But it's really a fantastic little neighborhood to be able to go to and leave your car parked after the show and then walk around with some of the other musicians. It's really fun.
You mentioned parking. There's street parking. The church has a big lot right behind the church. There's ample parking. It doesn't cost anything more. I mean, it really
it's very convenient.
It's very convenient for people.
Yeah. Just so that everyone's real clear on where, when, who, and how, and all these kinds of things, let's just make sure that we know it's the first holiday concert is the 15th of December.
15th of December.
7:30.
Yeah.
Right. First United Methodist Church of Pasadena.
Pasadena, 500 East Colorado, I think it is.
500 East Colorado, and that's the location there. And then are all the other subsequent concerts for the British invasion season going to be in the same?
They're all at the Pasadena Church. They're all at 7:30, and you can check our website, www.AngelesChorale.org, and they have the dates, the times. You can purchase your tickets there online.
Fantastic, and you can also find out about any of the other special concerts that we talked about, those special guests
and
that we get to sing with.
They're coming up soon.
Yes, they are. So that's all between now and Christmas. So we've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
We're excited to be part of it. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Maestro
Thanks,
Sutton. It's always my pleasure to have these chats with you, and hopefully we can share some of that information with those that are interested.
Thank you.